Hello, friends. How are you doing? So, I wanted to share my experience here coming to Korea and dealing with the whole quarantine COVID situation. I was in the States, and my girlfriend she came here to Korea to visit her family a couple of weeks ago. So I thought that it was the perfect opportunity to come and visit her and spend some time here in a country that has already beat COVID, even though they don't think so. But it really makes you realize that we're not very close from beating it in the other nations that are taking it so lightly. Coming here was pretty intense. I'll share it, but the TLDR is that I am in a hotel room where I'm going to spend 2 weeks quarantine, not being able to leave the hotel room whatsoever. It makes sense. I want to collaborate. I want to make sure that I'm totally clean and that I can go into a clean society and enjoy my days without the fear of, being contagious to anybody. So I want to make this video just to tell my family I'm okay and I'm here and my friends, and also to share the experience because it might come pretty handy for any other adventurous person or anybody that needs to come to Korea, I guess, because it's very intense. So when you arrived into the airport, you have to fill up a lot of forms that you fill on the plane. Fine, everything okay. The moment you step off the plane, absolutely everyone on the airport is like fully hazmat suit and like goggles, and you're like whoa. Like the moment you step off, you're like, oh, this is what a pandemic actually looks like. Like I don't want to like just compare with the other airports I've been, but I was just like, wow, this place is probably like dying in COVID. But no, no, they're not. Anyways, you get off. The first thing you have to do is you have to download an app. So they have like a QR code. You get your phone, boom, you install the app. This app is where you're gonna be reporting your temperature for the next 2 weeks to the government. I think they also track you to make sure that you don't like venture off or whatever. And then after that, you go into one station, you give your paperwork, what are you doing here in Korea, etc. They take your temperature. Depending on your temperature reading, you go to different places. I think my temperature was a little high, so they got really scared. So they sent me into a special line that said symptoms. And I was like, oh crap, now what's gonna happen? So I went there, and then they took the temperature again. They talked to me, blah blah. Do you have corona? Have you been with somebody who was exposed? Where are you coming from? And I was coming from Miami, so they were like, oh, Miami, Miami. It's pretty bad in Miami right now. So then they took my temperature again. They take it again. They said, okay, sit here. We'll give you an exam. They took my passport. I waited there for like maybe 10 minutes, 15 minutes tops, and then they took me somewhere like very separated from the rest of the airport, like in a room. Then we went down the stairs, like in a gate, I think. And then you go down the stairs to the tarmac. And then they did the test there. So they did like the mouth and the nose. But everything was like very well organized, very fast, very safe. You have gloves, right? They give you an N95 mask. And and yeah, so I took my exam, then got out of the exam, finally did the paperwork. At this point, you haven't even passed immigration, which means you haven't been even received into the country. But then, okay, you go to immigration, blah blah. At all points, you have like a guy that happened to be a guy that did like all the control, like a hazmat suit guy telling you like dedicated for you. And then you get through and you go grab your bags. At this point, it's 3 people. Like the guy was controlling 3 people. Then they took us to like a separated area right by the exit of the airport, where we basically sat there waiting for a bus. Then the bus arrived, and it was like a big bus, like a nice, nice bus, but only for 3 people. And then the bus took us to a hotel nearby in Incheon Hotel, something something, I forget, the Best Western. And we get to a hotel, and when you come in, everything is like plastic, like walls, um, the floor, and like plexiglass, and like military, Korean military there, and you're like, whoa, this is so intense. And they give you a card, and they give you dinner, bibimbap, very good. And then you have to go to your room, and they're like, okay, we're gonna wait for your results, so just go to your room and wait. So you go to a room, and it's a really nice room. At this point, I landed at 4:30 with all the process. I think I arrived there like at 7:38, so it took time. Um, so when I got to my room, I was like, okay, I'm gonna take a shower. And before midnight, they text the results to my girlfriend, and she's like, okay, you're negative. I'm like, hey, yay. No, I don't have corona. That means my mom doesn't have corona. Great. So then they call me and they're like, okay, you're negative at 6:40 a.m. We're gonna pick you up. So I was like, okay. Went to sleep, woke up, went down the stairs. When I came out of the room, there were four elevators. One elevator said for corona positive patients only. So even to the detail of creating one dedicated elevator for infected people versus the other ones, all of those little details really count in the response. So we go down, breakfast. They give you breakfast in a bag, orange juice, apple juice, and a sandwich, potato sandwich. Then the boss takes you to the airport. You show your passport. They have you in a list. They're super organized. They're like, you, yeah, Vega, over there. And then I go to another bus. The bus takes me to a hotel downtown Seoul, and that took like an hour. So I'm like texting, texting to my girlfriend. Okay, this is happening. And then I get like an alarm. Like in the States, we get these alarms, like the Amber Alert that all the cell phone gets. And I got the alarm, but it was in Korean, so I didn't know. So um, then my girlfriend translated, and basically all it said is like, hey, it's Monday morning. If you're feeling symptoms, don't ride the train. Wear your mask. Social distance. Like the entire country is sending daily alerts to their citizens that you have to do social distance. And she was telling me that this is pretty common. Yeah, yeah. I mean, what do you mean? It's the morning reminder that we believe in science that we need to wear a mask. Imagine that. Like, you haven't even done that in the States. Anyways, so we got to the hotel, pretty nice hotel. I looked it up on the internet right away, and it said temporarily closed. I was like, interesting. So when you come into the lobby, the entire lobby has been set up like another like research facility. There's like plastic everywhere, people in hazmat suits, and you come in, and then they're like, okay, wash your hands, and you clean your hands, and then they give you gloves. They take your temperature, and then you sit in a table. The entire lobby was cleared out, and there were like little desks, almost like if it was a school, 6 feet apart or 2 meters apart, in like a grid. So like I think it was like 5 by 8 or something like that. And then you just sit there with the rest of the people. Then they go by one. They check your passport, your app again, and boom, another COVID test. I don't know why, but two tests so far. And then you have to pay. You have to pay for this hotel, and it includes all the food and blah blah. Looking at the prices of the hotel, it looks like it's a little bit subsidized because like they don't charge as much as the hotel is because the hotel is very nice. I mean, the room is very nice. I'm pretty sure the facilities in the hotels are fantastic, but I wouldn't know because you cannot exit your room. So, anyways, so you get a box like a kit, and then you come into your room, you open your kit, and the box has like um, temperature check. It has like hand sanitizer. Uh, what else did it have? Like masks. It has like a bag for throwing things away, disinfectants. It had like toothbrush. Like a pretty generous welcome kit, welcome pandemic kit. And it had the rules. So the rules are simple. You cannot leave your room for 14 days. At 8 a.m., they will announce over a speaker that they have. They have announced it in Korean, in English, and in I think Japanese. I find a little problem identifying the third language. And then they say, your food has been delivered. So you like open the door, and it's like a bag right there. I'll make another video unpacking the food and stuff. But the bag is there, and it's like so surreal. You like grab it and close it, and that's it. You're packing. Um, so this happens 3 times a day. And then at night, whenever you sleep, whenever you want to sleep, there is TV, there is Wi-Fi. I'm on the 12th floor, so I have a lot of buildings. It's a nice view in the middle of Seoul, I guess. Uh, but yeah, it's pretty intense. I have an app that I have to report my temperature twice a day. I did it already and looking good. And they give you calls. They have called me once and be like, hey, are you in the room? I'm like, yeah, I'm here. They're like, okay, bye. So, no idea. They're really checking. Obviously, they keep saying over the speaker like 2 times a day, like, hey, you cannot leave your room. These are if you leave your room, you're gonna be deported or criminal charges, etc. So this is what a quarantine is. This is how it actually should be, because the world is in a pandemic, and I have unfortunately been in 3 different epicenters: New York, Houston, and Miami in that order when they became epicenters. And I have never felt anything like this. This is like the country will be falling apart in order to have these rules and these quarantines. But this is how they managed to not close anything in South Korea. Nothing is closed here in Hangul. And the society works, everything works, but we, the foreigners, are the real risk. So they have to make sure that we're not the ones contributing to the problems. Now, very important to say, if I have to happen to get corona, I will be sent to the hospital immediately, regardless of my symptoms. And they have obviously capacity in the hospital, and I think it's also free because the government realizes that if they spend on you, it's cheaper than the damage that you could do. So, well, hopefully it doesn't come to that, but that's also there on the instruction set. If you show any symptoms on your corona, if you show symptoms, I think they do another corona test. And if the corona test is positive, then boom, you go to the airport, to the hospital, sorry, until you're cured, basically. So, but if not, then in 15 days, I'm gonna be able to be a free man and be in Seoul, where at that point, hopefully, uh, everything goes right, and I'm gonna get to see my girlfriend, which is the reason I came here to Korea, and obviously because I love Korea. This country is amazing. So, but yeah, I just wanted to share. I don't know, any questions? Let me know. Hopefully, I can answer them. You better like Korean food because the food is very, very, very Korean. If you don't like Korean food, this is gonna be rough. I particularly love it, so for me, unpacking the food is so fun. But it could be quite a challenge if you are picky with your food or like vegan. Um, yeah. Anyways, it'll be fun. This is the end of day one for me. So just starting day two. 14 to go.